What type of principal or head teacher are you? Are you a philosopher, a surgeon, an architect, an accountant, or a soldier? Recent research analysed the tenure of 411 academy head teachers in England and identified 5 different types of head teachers. Researchers Hill, Mellon, Laker and Goddard pulled from their dataset themes that describe broadly how they operated, their subject backgrounds, their salaries, but more importantly, the impact that they had on students' outcomes over time, even after they had left their post. Their findings made for very interesting and uncomfortable reading, and I want to share with you a summary of their findings and also invite you to meet for a confidential discovery session. And if you tell me your favourite type of biscuits, I will be more than happy to bring those along too. So what did they find? Philosophers lead by example as senior teachers. They like to talk about pedagogy and they don't necessarily see themselves as managers. They're paid on average £103,000 and they usually have a strong link to curriculum development during their career. They care passionately about teaching methods and teaching and learning and curriculum content, and they are mostly English teachers. But philosophers were found to be the worst performing leaders in the study, both during and after their tenure. Although they talk passionately about the importance of good teaching and they get everybody excited, they don't actually change anything and their schools either coast or decline. Surgeons act quickly and decisively to turn schools around. Paid on average £154,000, they are also the most likely to get awards and accolades. They happen to be mostly PE teachers and they have an immediate and dramatic impact, often by moving to exclude large numbers of students, reduce class sizes, remove staff, and they move the best teachers to the final year, cut out non-essential activities to increase the opportunity for revision and test preparation. Exam results do go up, but at a cost, because after a couple of years, when the turnaround head teacher is often gone, the younger students whose education wasn't as much of a priority then take their exams and they don't do as well. It takes the schools on average 4 years to recover once the surgeon has moved on, and thousands of pounds are paid to try and clean up the mess. Architects take a holistic 360-degree view of the school, its stakeholders, the community it serves, its role in society, and they seek to transform the students and the community. They are the lowest paid on average at £86,000. Architects are careful planners who begin by working on improving standards of behaviour first, then improving teaching and slowly replacing poor performing staff. They are mostly history and economics teachers. And architects are the highest performing head teachers, improving their schools financially and getting many more young people to 5 good GCSEs than the surgeons. Even 3 years after the head has moved on, the architect schools continue to grow, delivering a good education to a far higher proportion of young people. Soldiers and accountants are well suited to schools which need a financial turnaround. Both paid on average £100,000. Accountants try to increase the size of the school as a strategy for improving the financial balance. For them, bigger is better, and they will look at new revenue sources and ways of ensuring that they're making the most out of the school building. Revenue might go up, but exam results don't necessarily go up with it, because with growth can come the danger of taking your eye off the ball, so growing the business at the expense of securing those good individual outcomes. Soldiers try and cut costs to meet the school's budget constraints through efficiency and order. They like a lean organisation, one that provides a good value for money. They have a management focus and will cut costs, including those incurred by additional staffing. There will be cutbacks. Again, they may make the school run more efficiently, but they don't necessarily boost results. According to the researchers, their savings and thriftiness can lead to low morale amongst staff. So do these styles resonate for you, either in what you notice within yourself or what you notice in others across the educational landscape? Which type do you identify with? What's your evidence for that? What would your staff say about your style? How do you want to be in the next year and beyond? What legacy do you choose? If this research tells us anything, it tells us of the enormous pressures that head teachers are facing to make an impact quickly under increasingly challenging circumstances, often with insufficient training and support. I believe every head teacher, regardless of their style, sets out with the best intentions to run great schools and get great outcomes for the young people in their care. The head teachers and the leaders that I work closely with talk openly about those pressures that they're facing, the overwhelm of all that needs to be done, the ever-changing goalposts, the frustrations in some of their leaders and not enough time to support them in the ways that they need, guilt towards their own children or partner, how lonely it can be at the top, feeling like an imposter, feeling constantly judged and devoid of any constructive or restorative feedback from their team. And it's because of this we are seeing many good deputies not making the leap, and the top positions are becoming increasingly harder to fill. We see many head teachers struggling with their health and their well-being, and almost a third of head teachers are leaving the profession within 3 years, or they leave their posts under difficult circumstances, significantly affecting their self-worth and their self-confidence. There is important work to do here. So I help leaders to get in a good place and stay there, and so that they can optimise their influence as a leader. I support them in refining their reflective practices to increase their self-awareness and their awareness of how the leadership team is operating. We work side by side in creative ways to develop confidence, emotional intelligence, communication skills, problem solving, decision making, delegation skills, and also broadening their repertoire of leadership styles. And I do this by sharing insights from research, starting with how the mind works and creating a safe psychological space for leaders to build stronger relationships and to continue to support each other on their respective leadership journeys. So I hope this message finds you well and has provided some useful food for thought for you, especially when thinking about your development plans for the next academic year. If you are committed to creating a better reality for yourself and your leadership team, I would be delighted to meet with you and to discuss in confidence your current situation, where you want to be, and how I can work with you to help you and your team close the gap between your intentions and your impact. Time is of the essence, so don't hesitate to get in touch. Best regards.